So I get to RavenHill, and this is back in 2004. I basically felt uncomfortable back in Smallville. It's my first place since then, and I've been here for like 4.5 years now. And I've had 4 upstairs neighbors. I live on the 2nd floor, and I face the interstate here, so I hear the little traffic, the little noise of traffic, but pretty tame, place pretty quiet, except for I had a little problem with the upstairs neighbors, and one first was neighbor Dave. Check out that link. What I've noticed for each of my neighbors is that for 6 months out of the year, there's not a noise. There's not a noise in the bedroom. I don't care about any place else, but in the bedroom, there's basically no noise for about 6 months, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like all hell's breaking loose. And neighbor Dave, I was so glad when neighbor Dave. It appears to be he was obsessed. I was glad when he moved out. He appears to be obsessed with me, and he was like making noise literally for 2 hours in the morning every day because I sued David Copperfield. So then I get another neighbor, and I forget his name, but I just chose sort of not to go introduce myself for a while, and then I finally did, and I think I had on one of my God shirts, but it wasn't really showing. But I think he was getting wind that of my God thing, of this God thing, and then he started making noise, and then it was like for 6 months of hell, as 3 or 6 months of hell, and it seems like I was complaining to Raven, and it seemed like every time I complained to Candace Palmer, the manager, it seemed like it got worse. Instead of getting better, which is what's supposed to happen, it just kept getting worse. And one time for this second neighbor, I complained, and not only did it get worse, but what happened is at 4 in the morning, he's running his exercise running machine, and I guess he placed it inside the bedroom. And then he chose this moment to create literally an earthquake for about a half an hour. And I don't exactly know. I mean, this is why I threw a rock through a window back at Carrington Courts. It's because of behavior like this. Because people just don't seem to give a crap. Rude, inconsiderate, and they have all the power. They feel this power. But they're actually pussies. These people are actually pussies. But they feel this power. They're kind of like, this was a guy, by the way. But it reminds me of women who socially crucify. They use whatever systems in place to make themselves feel powerful. Well, I mean, what am I supposed to do? Go up and beat them up? I mean, it's like, I've already complained to management. I've done all I can do. I mean, this is how road rage occurs. This is how people, I guess, neighbors kill each other because of behavior like this, where I don't give a crap, and I have every bit of right to do what I want. And screw you, and I've got the law backing me up. So it's this uncaring attitude that I've been dealing with. So there's a third neighbor. So every year I get a new one, and for them, let me see. Actually, they're pretty tame. I'd say for only about 3 months. I think I only complained once about them. I don't even know if I could, but it was about not too bad. And I actually went out of my way not to go up and introduce myself for like 6 months. So, and then once I did, then that's when the noise started. So now I've got a new neighbor up there now, and don't even know who he or she is. And I see neighbor Dave occasionally downstairs, and he says, "Oh, you got a new lady for a neighbor." Well, probably my best luck not to go introduce myself, because it just seems to turns into a nightmare every time I go up and introduce myself. So, but so far that one's been pretty tame, knock on wood. So I guess it's probably been about 4 or 5 months, and it's been pretty tame. I don't know. I think they just moved in. I don't think they moved in October, so it's probably been here for 2 or 3 months, something like that. So they were out for a while. Somebody was empty for a while. But with Raven, I guess I'm talking about my neighbors, but with Raven, it's Candace Palmer seems to be the problem child. When you get to see the Cats link, but it was in Christmas day after Christmas. Christmas Day is when I launched a new attack on the legal system, and my cats crapped on me. The next day, so that would have been 2007, day after, December 26, 2007, a small snow, about 2 inches on the ground, maybe 3. They decided to tow everybody, and my mom's car was here, and I just not usually have to worry about that, but I sort of forgot about it. But there was no notice at my door. There was a notice down at the main door, and that's all they left. And it was like a 2 or 3 hour notice. And then somehow we were supposed to realize that we were supposed to take out our car. So my mom's car got towed, and that turned out to be a nightmare. And my neighbor Brunette, turns out she didn't even know it, but she was going to help me get my mom's car, but she had to find out later that her car was towed too. And one second. So I immediately expect foul play. It would not even surprise me in the least if RavenHill and the towing company has some kind of partnership going on where RavenHill collects a little bit of money on the side or gets some kind of kickback for towing people. So RavenHill is in the mood to tow as many people as possible because of their Christmas spirits. So I don't think I was the only one to bitch about this, because Aimco was the owner at the time, and now they got bought out by a new one. And you'll see some of the links on my site about RavenHill. It's under new management now. But when I went to get my mom's car picked up, I had my new notary stamp, and I'm in this notary mode. And I made him swear under oath that there was no partnership of some sort, no collaboration with RavenHill, that there's a mutually exclusive relationship business-wise between RavenHill and the towing company. I think it's Burnsville Towing. And it's over there, right next to right on 13 there in Savage. Next to the tin shed, right near there. Anyways, I was pretty pissed off because it cost me $200, and it seemed like it was an I don't give a crap attitude via Aimco and RavenHill. And like I said, I suspect foul play because there was no warning. There was no warning that they're going to be doing this. They should at least be giving, I'd say, 2-day notice. There wasn't like 16 inches of snow on the ground. It was a little like 3 inches. It could have waited for a couple days. And what sucked about that whole day is that, they towed everybody, and then they realized there wasn't anybody to plow out the car, so they had to do it the next day and tow out more people the next day. Holy crap, man! I got a feeling I wasn't the only one to bitch about that. Something was wrong about that. So I put out curses on Aimco and RavenHill and right about the where the truth was coming out under oath. I was noticing that some people were tongue-tied, locked under oath, outside the courtroom without the oath, without being. I noticed the tongue-tying of people. So I sent Candace Palmer. I was curious. I wanted to conduct some tests to see if people at Raven are trying to kill me. So I sent out a letter, an email. I'll show it to you. From Candace Palmer about if I'm being anybody's conspiring. So I'll show you the email, but maybe I should look at it. One second. So take a look at that link. It'll be another video in there describing the email, what it's kind of meaning. It's sort of set up. Anyways, what happened after that is I thought, let's go. Well, I went to the police, and this is on the May 1st, 2008. And hey, let's see what the police think about this tongue tying, and let's see if let's see if we can get the police to ask them some questions and see if I'm curious. By the way, I don't mean any. I didn't mean any. I'm just conducting some tests to try to figure out if this thing's working. And I find it interesting to see people tongue-tied. And by the way, they act nonchalant, like nothing's happening, and yet they can't talk. I asked Candace, so, I'm accusing you of trying to kill me. She would just sit there. It just looked like whatever, but I expect somebody to answer. No, it didn't occur, Chris. So, you see the emails, but I just thought it would be kind of interesting to see what the police might say to this. Hey, let's do some research. Well, that ended up in a caging. And it turns out that the RavenHill was calling the police every time I stepped in there, and my emails were all getting forwarded to them. It was all a big setup. It was all set up by RavenHill, complained to the police, and then when I go to the police and ask for help, I'm not considered a human being, because normally when people go and ask for safety concerns, and or they conduct an investigation of some sort. But for me, it's, well, you're a Looney Tune, and see the ambulance, that's for you. So it's a big time lack of respect. And then I got a letter from Candace, saying, Chris, if you do that again, that gives us grounds for terminating our lease. Of course, I can't terminate it when I want. It's only when I do this. So I kind of assumed it to be a thing where, well, if I need to get on my lease, I'll just do that again. It's kind of what I was doing in some of these other links in my chronicles. And forgot to mention that on my birthday, my 40th birthday, since I have no friends to go out and have a birthday party, give me a birthday party for my 40th, God gave me a big old party called a apartment complex fire, which there's 4 buildings here. Two connect. There's A, B, they connected together, and C, D, and we're over here. I'm in D, and A burnt down. Basically 6 units. 6 on one end. Somebody had a cigarette, I guess, on their porch. I was on one of the hottest days of the year, on June 14th of 2007. It's probably in. Okay. Anyways, God gave me a big old party with a bunch of firemen and a whole bunch of spectators and about 12 fire trucks. I don't think the area was used to having a fire like this until that day. And then now it's becoming a common thing throughout Burnsville and the area. So it's not just Burnsville's had another one just before Christmas 2008. It appears as though Burnsville is becoming a blaze in reality, other than but it pretty much got kick-started on June 14th of 2007. Shortly after, I got bent over by RavenHill with that police caging, with look at the RavenHill link. I was doing some testing for this oath, and they bent me over. I got caged by the police, and I think God said, well, we need to, this is sort of a, when people bend me over, it's sort of things happen in reality, to, as a backlash. So I mentioned this to my neighbor Dave, and one second. It was interesting, quite a coincidence. I'm sort of stranded away from, or guided off. Anyways, I'm talking with somebody who's just waiting for all this to die down. We're kind of spectators. Anyways, I talked to this lady. She's got a cell phone picture. I think she was in she's in the building. She was in A. She snapped a picture with her cell phone. And I saw it, and it was this inferno. And it turns out that was the same picture that they put in the paper. So I don't know if that's what, it seems like a weird coincidence that would happen to be, well, I'm not talking to that many people, maybe 4 or 5, that would happen to see the one that got her picture put in the paper. So, I don't know, it's kind of a side note, but